So how many people watching this review right now have seen neither October 8th encampment, one or the other, or both? I'm going to give a very high probability very few people seen both. Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon, reviewing the encampment. So what's about pretty simple premise. This talks about the college protests that occurred after the October 7th terrorist attack in Israel, killing, raping, wounding, murdering, torturing, hostage,ing over 1,200 people that include women, children, and men. Older people, younger people, festivals, paragliding in. So this talks about these college protests and what they're trying to achieve and what they actually do on campus. Even though if you're going to say October 8th is biased for that side, you're going to fucking agree with me that the encampment is a complete biasy for the other side. And so it's just kind of the same movie except completely polar opposite in my opinion. And we're following Khalil around, getting his perspective and other people's perspective about how they organize these college campuses and what they're actually fighting for. And this is where I get in a downhill spiral because I've been to multiple countries in Africa, multiple countries in the Middle East. And I know for a fact these rich motherfuckers, most of them, I'm not going to say it all, but I would say 97, 98% are either never been to these colleges, don't go to these colleges, are students, and they live in a cush life. Listen, if you're going to Columbia and you're making 70 and you got to spend $74K a year for college, a year, that's $300K for 4 years. Come on now. All right, Khalil, I don't know how he got his thing to go to Columbia. I don't know. He got a permanent visa. Personally, I don't agree in permanent visas because if I'm going to work in France or something, I'm not going to get a permanent visa. They're going to have to have reason to, renew, or at least become a resident, kind of like PewDiePie did in Japan. It's going to be that way. Anyway, talk about that. But this movie, to me, I kind of laughed at the cultural appropriation. I laugh at the fake outrage. I laugh at everything that is occurring in this movie. Okay, here we go. All right, I will give credit to Khalil for actually showing his face, right? Because at most of these things, right, they either have masks for like COVID-19 or cultural appropriation scarves. I'm going to call them cultural appropriation scarves because most of these white people have never been in the fucking Middle East. So yes, you're cultural appropriating. If you're going to be pissed off about that during BLM, well, I'm going to fucking be this because you're a fucking hypocrite. All right, so if you're really for the cause, right? If you are for the cause, you would show your face. You would show your face. And speaking of the cultural appropriation scarves, when I was in this movie theater, there were so many people wearing them. And I just wanted to be like, have you ever been to Israel, the Gaza Strip, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Jordan, Kuwait, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, or even let's talk about where Khalil was actually born. If I'm not mistaken, it was where is it? It was in northern Africa, right? Algeria, I think it's Algeria, right? Have you ever been there? I've been in Morocco. I've been in Niger. I've been in other countries in Africa as well. But these rich motherfuckers are so just hoity-toity in America because they know they are safe here. They know that they cannot do queers for Palestine in Gaza, right? And that's also the fake. And what also is fake, right? If you are truly for the Gaza Strip, you would have done this before the October 7th attack. And that is how I know most of this shit is fake. Because you know what? You did it after all these people were murdered, raped, or tortured. And you saw the glimmer of hope of like, hey, I'm going for a cause. And also, when you interview some of these people at these protests, they don't know what they're protesting for. All they hear is to the river, to the sea. That's all they hear. And they're like, oh, what does that mean? Huh? What does that mean? Of course, they're not going to show it in the documentary, but if you show other... Of course, there is going to be naivety on both sides. Absolutely. It's in political realm right now where you think AOC knows exactly what the fuck she's talking about Bernie Sanders? No. He's talking about the oligarchy, but he's did his fucking honeymoon in Moscow, Russia. Do you even think Mitch McConnell's really on the right side? Hell no. Adam Kinzinger? Hell no. Liz Cheney? Hell no. And so shit like that. So yes, both sides have their hypocrites. Absolutely. And if you don't agree with that, you're wrong because even Khalil is very much anti-Biden and anti-Trump. So he is also hates both sides. So like I said, even though I disagree with him completely because he also hates America, that at least he's willing to show his face and he shows both sides, because I feel like right now in today's political climate, the people that are pro-Palestine or free Palestine right now, majority of them are like, fuck Trump, but never said fuck Biden, or you know what I'm getting at. Okay. And also fuck Macklemore. He's just a little dog shit, bullshit wannabe rapper that's kind of disappeared completely off the map. And so this is his new time to be relevant. So, okay. So like I said, the main reason I thought this is so fake is because you're doing this after a terrorist attack. You're cheering it on. And I'm not going to say all Palestinians, because there are some Palestinians that do want to get Hamas at the Gaza Strip, but a majority don't. And people wonder why is Gaza so bad? Maybe because Hamas is running the fucking place, right? And also another thing is, I go to these college campuses and I ask them, do you disagree with the October 7th attack? And they say nothing, or they are complacent with it. No, you should be anti-violence through in and throughout, but they're not. They wanted it. They were promoting it. And also, I don't know if these people are anti-Israel or anti-Jew at this point, because Israel is kind of a country that has multiple opinions. Gaza Strip, Palestinians probably have multiple opinions as well. America, multiple opinions. You see what I'm getting at here, right? So if a Jewish man or woman is walking on campus and you're saying Zionists not allowed in this place of study, if you're refusing to let them go to class, if you're refusing them to teach, or you refusing them to let them leave their doors, or the synagogue, or sorry, the rabbis are saying you probably should stay in your dorms because if you leave, it's dangerous. That's not anti-Israel at that point. That's anti-Jew. And so at a point, you're showing your true colors and you call the right side Nazis. Do you guys remember what happened in World War II? What fascism was really like? What you're doing is fascism. It is the definition of fascism. So it is so baffling to me of where you call the right, fascists, but you guys are the ones singling out the Jews and Nazis were fascists. So things like that where I just get fucking laughable at. And also, like I said, even though I hated this movie, I thought it was very one-sided. Of course, you could say that about October 7th, but the thing is, October 7th is talking about the terrorist attacks, what people experienced when they were sleeping in their houses, how they had to, be locked in their safe rooms and fingers crossed that they don't get shot in the fucking face. This is different. This is in a cush college campuses where the administrators were more like, oh, there's nothing we could do. There's nothing we can do. We just want your money. We get $500 million of grants. We're asking for $75,000 per student. I'm talking about Columbia, but there's still protests and all other these hoity-toity campuses, these Yales, these Harvards, these UCLAs, and Berkeley, and things like that. And it's not cheap to get into any single one of these colleges unless scholarship or, in-state tuition, things like that. But also, what this movie, of course, doesn't do is talk about how much this organization Khalil is with absolutely despises America and everything it holds to value. And that is why also this whole mega city in Plano, Texas, get the fuck rid of that, first off. And then two, let me just read these 15-esque things of why I think this documentary doesn't show true colors of some of these people. Khalid's group was inciting violence after the October 7th atrocities. I already kind of talked about that. And it was never before it. So I find that a red flag. The CUAD, and you're wondering what this CUAD, right, is? That is his political organization called the Columbia University Apartheid Divest, right? So that is what the CUAD means. It's basically saying that, this isn't a global infada against American imperialism. And if you watch the October 8th documentary, the son of the Hamas leader talks about that infidad is a broad thing about ruining everything that they don't stand for. So there is that as well. And it also says, the CUAD says, we must generally threaten the state, and they must kill, jail, torture, disappear, and target it in America. That they are, so no, you're not targeting America. You're freaking safe if you go to the Gaza Strip. Anyway, They call for military and police en masse to dismantling state infrastructure. So what does that actually have to do with the terrorist attacks are freeing Gaza? And that's the other thing. It's also like things like climate change. Or they're going to add random other shit to it that like absolutely has nothing to do with Gaza. So you're just like dismantling the military and police. Yeah, you go fuck off there as well. So they are a violent anti-American insurgency that must target the criminal justice system until the empire crumbles. Tell me how that has anything to do with Gaza and Hamas running the Gaza Strip. Tell me how that anything right there. And that's how I know this shit is fake. It's fake. It's fake. It's fucking fake. They want to eradicate the Western civilization. This isn't about to the river to the sea. And you ask them what that means, and they're just like, all of it. There is no talking to some of these people. And how I'm saying some, I'm not saying all. I'm saying some of these people. Because yes, there probably are some Palestinians that are like, get Hamas out. Get Hamas out. But then also there's Palestinians that are like, we want them. We want them. So what else? They are asking about extremists abroad to help in organizing uprisings. This is a huge thing, people. The group also asked for militants in the global south in achieving its goal of eradicating Western civilization and find the fascism ingrained in the American consensus. You're the fascists that are suppressing speech, refusing to let students go to class. You're the fascists. You're the fascists. It's okay. Just look in the mirror and be like, yes, I'm suppressing things I don't like. I'm a fascist. All right. So, Khalil's group also threatened to shut down Columbia University unless it eliminates the police presence on campus and several ties to all NYPD. What does that have to do with the Gaza Strip? What does that have to do with the Gaza Strip? Yeah, you might think, oh, but the group, I'm not saying Khalil, I'm saying the group. The group, yes. Does Khalil own the group? No. But if you want people to be part of your group, have a message about what you're protesting. Not about these other random things you're going to like spiderweb out. It doesn't work that way. They like to set things on fire. Yes, they do. And they like to, suppress speech. Anyone they don't like, umbrella. Okay, that's Antifa, but probably the same. So they actually had real terrorists at the teach at Columbia students. Real terrorists. In March 2024, 2 leaders of the Palestinian Prisoner Support Network and Marxist let a couple other Khalid Brock and other people speak. Terrorists speak in Columbia. So, interesting. If you talk to the people that were hostages, they talk about how there is connections, how they are contacting with these students. Also, Colombian protesters were told to riot by a Chinese Communist Party entity. So the CCP sees, wait a minute, they're disrupting America. We can help. Interesting. So Khalid's group's state goal is to topple all institutions that benefit from colonial racial capitalism and dismantling the state. What? Do you not want the world to exist? How far back are we going? How far back are we going to go? That's the question. Because they don't know. They just want the here and now, and they don't read history. They love vandalism, of course, and they declare themselves literally a part of Hamas. When you're going on campus and you're wearing the bandana and you have the flag, you're a part of a terrorist organization. It's like almost how you're at a robbery, right? And even though you might be the getaway driver, you're still complacent. Even though you might not have shot anyone inside, you might not have robbed the bank, but you are still complacent in the crime. And everyone at these college protests are complacent on any crime that does occur. When you have these students literally saying like, you're a Zionist, we're stepping forward, we're getting you off our property. How is that not fascism? So overall, the Encampments, it's going to be one of my worst movies of the year. It truly is. It does what it's supposed to do. It jerks off the Free Palestine crowd. I'm not going to say that about October 8th because October 8th shows footage of people actually dying by the hands of Hamas and actually having the Hamas's son interviewed, having people on campus suppressed speech, having people on campus not be able to go to class because the administration was too much of pussies and the pro-Palestinian people are fascists. They're the fascists. And cultural appropriation. Holy cow, how much cultural appropriation? And, like, literally, I have more, guts for Khalil to show his face. If you're really for your cause, show your face. Number 2, if you really want to do something, get off your ass and don't just hold a picket sign. What the fuck is that going to do? I love how this, like, anti-Trump Musk protest happened yesterday. It was on Saturday, I think the 5th. And everyone's like, it's a revolution. What's a revolution? These old farts that protest during the Vietnam War too, that never went to war in the first place, and I saw one video like, there's no teenagers out there. Well, because Minecraft movie's out, right? And basically everyone in their 20s and most younger 30s are like, yeah, we don't want a war. We don't want war. And so it's just fucking hysterical where I see so much cultural appropriation from white liberal ladies, and it's fucking hysterical. It's just, like I said, if you've never been in the Middle East or Africa or like, oh, I've been to vacation, I've been to Paris, that doesn't count. Go to a real third world country and see what shit they deal with. Would I ever go to the Gaza Strip? No. Would I go to Israel? Sure. But I've been to Agadez, Niger. I've been to Riyadh. I've been to Saudi Arabia. I've been to Qatar. I've been to these other places where it's kind of crazy, where the outskirts are pretty dirty, and then it's an amazing city. So, yeah, the encampments is for one crowd, and it is not for me. The encampments will receive a 1 out of 5 Futons, which equals that 20%. And I could bet you $1,000 that this is probably 100% Rotten Tomatoes, because they can't go against the grain. They don't want to get attacked online. Oh, what do you know? 10 reviews, 100%. Over 50 audience score, 50 reviews, 94%. 194.20. Jeez, I hear the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh no, this is Booftopia. You Booftonians, thank you for watching. Have a great down. Watch Tate tomorrow. Week from the for every single freaking one of you. I lost my damn voice because of this stupid review.